So, welcome to 155. And if you've been here more than twice, go ahead and raise your hands. Sweet. So, the people who didn't raise their hand, that's who I'm calling on tonight. Just kidding. No, yeah. Earlier today, you guys got your little connection card packet booklet things. In it, you have the connection cards. Make sure you fill those out at some point during today and drop that in the bucket when the message is over. You guys saw your pictures up there for camp. How many went to camp that are here tonight? Oh no, it's prison camp. That's what we called it. All right, ready? Day of the belly button. That's right. And if you don't know, ask somebody. But yeah, got it. So while we were there at camp/retreat, we coined a thing called Campside Fire Chats with Chandler. And so this week I'm going to try that format. And so I'm going to get a little bit closer to you guys. We're going to make it a little more awkward. And I will call on some of you guys for some answers to help me out through this. And how many people here have never heard me talk before? Oh, all right. So I just want to make sure that before we get all awkward in here, that I'm amongst friends and family. The first slide we're talking about here is developing a thankful attitude. Yeah, that's one of the hardest things to do. And I'm going to give you some examples of that. And with that, I'm also going to give you some great stories. Everybody loves embarrassing stories about Chandler. Let's go ahead and throw that first verse on there. So, comfort those who are frightened, take tender care of those who are weak, and be patient with everyone. All right, I'm going to stop there. Because be patient with everyone. Now that means you just can't, when someone gets on your nerves, you just can't say bless your heart. That doesn't count as being patient. Yeah, I'm guilty. How many have used that, some kind of, or bless your heart, or I don't have time, ain't nobody got time for that? Okay. See that no one pays back evil for evil, but always try to do good to each other and to everyone else. Yeah. Can't pay back evil for evil. Aaron, what does paying back evil for evil mean? And speak loud so our people at home can hear us.
Fire with fire.
So if they have a fire starter, I'm going to throw a fire starter back at them?
Someone hits you, and then you hit them back. That's fire with fire.
Yes, that is correct. So if you didn't hear him, if someone punches you, that doesn't mean you punch him back. You throat chop him. No, I'm just kidding. So that first part we're talked about, comforting the weak. I have a story for you guys. And we're going to go with Army Chandler this time. And Army Chandler is sitting there in the middle of Iraq eating lunch. And we're probably about month 11, where you just don't care anymore. And all of a sudden we hear rockets coming in. And I'm not moving. The protocol is when you hear rockets incoming, you're supposed to go run for the bunker. But if I run for the bunker, I can't eat my sandwich because it's going to be full of sand. So I have to face a moral dilemma. Do I save my life or my sandwich? Sandwich, obviously. So here I sit there with my colleagues and friends, battle buddies if you will, and we're eating. Now, probably about 50 feet from us, I see a bunch of Navy guys, and you can tell that they're new to country. Why? Because the minute they heard the air raid, they throw their sandwiches up in the air and dive for the bunker. Now, I could have done one of two things as far as taking care of the weak. I could have told them, hey man, that alarm's going to go off every 10 minutes for the next 10 months you're here. Don't worry about it. Or I could sit there and laugh at them because they're running around the chickens with their head cut off looking for a bunker. So that's how you don't look out for people. Now, I knew better. So this third deployment I went on to Afghanistan, when you had new people come into country, I didn't tell them scary stories, and I made them feel better, and I called their parents and said, I'm going to take care of you. Why? Because I had a sergeant do that for me once. My mom called him. If you're watching, Mom, yes, I still remember. My mom called my sergeant and said, hey, take care of my baby. He's the only one I got. I'm like, Mom, you got 2 other kids. She's like, oh, my baby. So I'm in Savannah, and she says, my son has a stuffed animal with him. Now we're going to ignore the fact that I'm a grown man and have a stuffed animal with me for right now. We're going to fast forward that. She asked my sergeant to bring my stuffed animal back to her in Miami. Well, he did, of course, because that's, when Mom asks something, you got to give it to Mama. But that put her at peace, and that showed me how to take care, in the future, how you take care of your soldiers, how you take care of your friends, how you take care of each other. Sometimes it's going to inconvenience you. It's going to take you out of your way of your daily schedule. You're going to be like, you know what? Oh, man, I'm going to be late, or I have to wake up early to help somebody. But when someone does it for you, it means a lot more. Always be joyful. Always keep on praying. No matter what happens, always be thankful, for this is God's will for you who belong to Jesus Christ. Man, this verse there's so many things in each sentence that I have a hard time with. First of all, you got to always keep praying. Now let's keep it real. How many pray more than twice a day? Okay. 3 times? Yeah. Oh. Okay. So how many people pray when something bad happens? Right? The minute it happens? So for you guys, remember when you were running from the law that one time and the lights went off? The blue lights, the cop pulled us over, and you started praying then that you didn't get a ticket? I'm not supposed to say that? Okay. So usually when stressful situations happen, we start praying immediately. But that's not really a grateful or thankful heart. That's more of a reactive instead of proactive. So how do we fix that? We have to change the way we think. I want you guys to remember this verse, because each line of those, I'm sure you guys can remember a specific time and place of how that pertains to you. So here I give you guys a plan, or rules to follow, but how do I implement this plan into action? Next slide. Make thankfulness an attitude. Oh, man, there's that A word, that attitude. I know, Holly, how many times your parents say you got an attitude, whether good or bad? Oh, man. Your brother's like the bus driver, just threw you under the bus. Okay. So how do you make thankfulness an attitude? That's kind of like you have to be thankful no matter what happens. So the other night, I think 2 nights ago, the power went out in our house. And it wasn't because I didn't pay the bill. I think it was like something actually was wrong with the power company in the house. Power went out. Now, rewind, 2 hours before that, I went to go get water out of the refrigerator, and the water was frozen. And I was salty, because I wanted cold water. You can't have cold water. And I'm mad. So the power goes out. Now, I could be mad that the power went out in the middle of the night and be like, oh, man, it's messed up everything, and reset the alarm clocks or whatever. But instead, I was like, hey, you know what? I was salty that the water line was frozen. I couldn't get any water. So God was like, hey, Chandler, I got you. Don't worry about it. You turn your little refrigerator off for a little while. Boom. Thawed my water line. It's a win-win situation. But it's all how you look at it. Instead of being mad about it and getting an attitude with everyone, taking it out on the kids, Kathy, just making it awkward and a bad day, you just say, oh, well, you know what? Somebody's going to take care of it. God's like, I got this one. Don't worry about it. So, making thankfulness an attitude. Man, I struggled with this one because if you guys know me, I kind of have an attitude. And it could be good, it could be bad, it could be indifferent. It's up for you to decide. But changing my attitude on something, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of work and effort. And here you go, story number 3. And I had to ask Kathy for permission for this story. She was like, yeah, go ahead and tell the story, so you know it's a good one. Kathy, when we were dating, or married, I don't remember, but she decided to surprise me with dinner. Now you think that's great, right? And she says, hey Chandler, you like coconut and you like shrimp. I'm like, yes, I do. But she didn't ask if I liked them together. So I went to work, and for about 8 hours, she fried shrimp and coconut and made the batter and put it all together. At 8 hours, making that for me. So I come home, the table's all nice and set, and I'm like, ooh, what is going on? It smells like the botanical gardens. I got candles set up, and I'm like, aw. And she's like, I made dinner. And I'm like, oh, sweet, what is it? And I sit down, and I'm like, that's an abomination. That's coconut shrimp. I can't have that. Internally, of course. Let's not get crazy. But on the outside, I was like, oh, this is great. And I bit into it. And you know when you bite into something and your face just loses all expression, but you're chewing? So you're like, And you don't even chew it. You just swallow it whole because you figured you won't taste it. That's what I did. And she's like, hey, do you not like this? Now, all the married guys in the back are like, yes, you liked it, Chandler. And I was like, no, it's good. She was like, listen, be honest with me, because if you tell me you like it, I'm going to keep making it. If you tell me you don't, then it's all good. I'm like, sounds like entrapment, but okay. I said I didn't like it. And all she did was like, okay, thank you. Stood up, walked out of the room, and just tears. And I'm just like, oh, I've done it now. Now, what do we take away from the story? I could have looked at this as like, you know what? Here I am about to marry someone who can't really cook that well, and I don't want to be married. But then, as years went on, I was like, you know what? God has blessed me with someone who cares enough to cook what I like and to make it. Says, you know what? If you don't like it, I'm going to find a way to make it so that you do like it. And that took a lot. So instead of saying, you know what? Oh man, it's better. It would have been great to be single, and I don't have to deal with this, and these hurt feelings, and that she's leaking from her eyes, and I don't know what's wrong with her, and I don't know how to fix this. Years later, I'm like, you know what? I'm so glad I'm married to someone that has that much emotion and that puts that much heart and effort into everything she does. Thankfulness and attitude. So now every meal that she makes, I'm very grateful for and have a grateful attitude, because in the past 10 years, my cooking skills are about 0, and hers have gone from 0 to like 1,000. And it's gluten-free. It is good to say thank you to the Lord. Every morning tell him, thank you for all your kindness, and every evening rejoice in all his faithfulness. How do you guys start off your morning? Do you first wake up and say, oh, man, I am not trying to go to school today. What lie can I say to get out of my homework? How do you guys end your day? Hey, Cameron, how do you end your day? Is it usually TV and then call it a day, or kind of? It's usually, TV, and then maybe you go in your room, read a book or something, or, play your bass. Oh, hey, if you jam 24/7, you can't help it. You get the fever. I feel you, man. But if you start your day off with prayer and you end it with prayer, that kind of sets the tone for the next day. But if you wake up and the first thing you do is complain about your day, and you're not thankful that you woke up in your bed, in your house, with power, and you're going to bed in the same place. Some of you guys know people that live from motel to motel because their parents can't afford anything else. But you guys have consistency every single day. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that I'm able to go to sleep in my bed, because there's many nights where I'm like, I wish I had a bed. So when you put that in perspective, it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe mom and pops ain't really too bad. Next slide. Good. Make an inventory of why you're thankful. So if you had explained, so making an inventory of why you're thankful. Jacob.
Yes, sir.
Other Jacob. Look at that. You weren't ready for that. It pointed and looked. Look at that. An inventory. So an inventory, what do you think? Was it like you got to write like an outline? In your own words. Break it down for me.
Make an inventory of why I'm thankful. That would be like making a list or something like that of every reason or everything you have to be thankful for. Like you're thankful for your parents and how they provide for you and they give you money to go to church. And if you Taco Bell food, if you're hungry, they're the ones who provide that for you. You're thankful for that. Or just do something as simple as having the same night every night.
So if you couldn't hear that, it's basically being thankful for, consistency, church, bed, and Taco Bell. It's a circle of life for teenagers right there. That's very hard to do, though. So if you got to wake up in the morning, now I got to make an inventory, and then at the end of the day, I got to check to make sure I did my inventory, checks and balances. That's not really. Some of you guys think that way. Some of you guys are total right-brained, and hey, that's what you guys do. Right on. Some of you, who is scatterbrained like me? At least, look, we're honest. I like it. Fact. So, what I do is the minute something happens, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to make an inventory. It's not going to happen for me. But what works for me is I thank God the minute it happens. So now, I have to have a realization of what's going on in my life 24/7. So when you're sitting there in traffic, why am I thankful for? It takes hard. It takes a hard look at it. Hey, God, you know what? Thanks for the past 50 minutes that the radio's been commercial free. Sweet. Thanks for the Journey Marathon. Awesome. When I get out of work late, now I'm going to hit traffic and I'm going to get dinner, and then Kathy might be frustrated because I'm not home on time for dinner. Why am I thankful? Well, I'm thankful that I got dinner ready at home and she's not like, hey, we already ate. Here's some cereal. When you're in school and you get that test that you know you didn't study for, but somehow you passed it, hey, thanks, God. When you find random money in your pockets, that's always nice. What is something random you could thank your parents for? Jacob.
Just being my parents.
Okay. Having a roof? Right. So we got home and we got food taken care of. Let's go a little bit deeper. Give me something deeper that you would be thankful for on a daily basis, other than, no, not you, you're good. Yes. Cool hand.
Thank you. No one called.
You're welcome.
Something deeper?
Well, yeah, let's get real.
Family, friends. Known him for 10 years. He's got my back.
So here we go. So we've already covered family. We covered the material things. But being thankful that God has put someone in your life that's a true friend, that will tell you when your breath stinks. When who was it? I think it was Danny. When we were on the trip, he's like, hey, player, you got some garlic stuck in your teeth. It was either Danny or Brandon. And, fact. But I was thinking, you know what? I talked about 5 teens before that, and they just let me walk around this big piece of garlic in my tooth. Your friends will tell you when you're messing up. your true friends. You need to be thankful that they have enough candor to tell you, hey, you're wrong. Let's go to the next one. And those who have reason to be thankful should continually be singing praises to the Lord. Now, when it says singing praises to the Lord, obviously we're not going to express our inner anguish through the majesty of song. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But continually singing praises, that could just be talking. I can't sing, I'll be honest. But continually thanking God for what he's given me, and when he's done it, that's pretty awesome. For somehow, when you have no money in your bank account, but yet all the bills are paid. When your parents tell you, hey, we're broke, but yet they always find money to give you money for the snack, or your yearbook, your senior photos, retreat money. What did they sacrifice to let you do that? So you thank your parents, obviously, but you thank God for giving them the resources to make that happen. Next slide. Make God the source of your thankfulness. This morning, Pastor Jeff talked about that. A lot of people lose focus of this. Hey, I got that new promotion. I worked hard. I deserve it. I earned it. Me, I, self, whatever, whatever form there is of that. Taking yourself out of the equation, that's pretty humbling. At work, I have to continually give credit for work I've done to somebody else. Why? Because somebody's done that for me in the past. It takes a lot to say, you know what, you only did 40% of the work, but I'm going to give you full credit for this project. I'm going to write you an award for it. You hope that gives them that push that they need. But I didn't have the patience to do it. I sure as don't have the attitude for it. But who gave me that? God. Hey, God, thank you for actually letting me read this manual and not falling asleep. Thank you, God, for letting me read a Joshua Bible study that teaches me on leadership and not falling asleep. How many people read your Bible and fall asleep? There's something magical in it that as soon as you read it, you're just like, oh. I don't know what it is. So who do you thank for your success? So if you're not supposed to thank yourself, you're not supposed to thank your parents, and you thank God for it, how often do you do it? Let's pull the verse up. Since we have a kingdom nothing can destroy, let us please God by serving him with thankful hearts, with holy fear and awe. So serve God with a thankful heart. Lyndon, what is serving God with a thankful heart? What do you think that means? Yes, helping each other. Rachel. That's even harder, right? Doing things when you don't have to. Like when you see the kitchen sink full of dishes and no one's told you to empty it, but you do it. What would you define serving with a thankful heart? Oh, 1 and 1. Let's do it both. Shotgun blast.
If something bad happens, be thankful that it happened and it could have been worse.
Yeah. Okay. Say, when something bad happens, hey, I broke my arm. Well, be glad you didn't break your neck. Because most of the guys do something stupid to do that. Like, I think somebody jumps backflips off of here. I'm not sure who that is. Serving with a thankful heart. How would you tell someone else how to do that? It's the little things. It doesn't necessarily have to be the big things. So you guys know it. You guys are a smart group. But I think where all of us in this room fall short of is the application part of it. That's what tests your true character. We've all gone to church. We know all the stories. You guys know all the answers. But who do you have in your life that's going to help you apply this and hold you accountable? How do you say thanks? You know, serving with a thankful heart is one thing, but how many different ways are there to say thanks? All right? If you have the head nod, if someone holds the door open, you're like, thanks. And then you have the thank you. Thanks. That's a combination of the head nod and thank you. You have the fist bump, shake someone's hand. But what I've noticed is when someone looks at me in the eye and says, hey, I really appreciate everything you've done. It means a lot. I'm like, oh, I don't even know what I did, but okay, I'm going to keep doing it. And a lot of times, that's harder to say. It's hard to go up to a stranger and say, thanks for what you've done. And on retreat, like that, a lot of us had to do that. We got to know people that we didn't know anything about them. And we had to thank them that, hey, you know what, I'm glad you came on this trip. You coming on this trip helped me see a different side of you, a different part of myself. Let's look at the last thought. If God is the source of your thankfulness, you'll always be thankful. When you start getting salty for no reason, and you can't see the good, the bright side of things, if you're like, you know what, that's great, Chandler, that you can always see the bright side, but you don't know my life. You have no idea what I've been through. You're probably right. But no matter what you've gone through or what you've been through, if God is the source of it, I guarantee it's not going to be as bad as you think. Everybody in this room is going to look back here in about 5-10 years and be like, man, I can't believe I stressed out over that. And it's taken me, we're going to say 30 plus years, because I'm not saying my age, to realize this. And I still don't have it all down. I don't think there's anybody in this room that has this down to a science. I'd even go far to say Pastor Jeff. It's a daily struggle. So if everybody in this room struggles with it, you know you can't do it alone. So why not let him be the center of it, surrender it and give everything to him, and just make your life that much less stressful? On your connection cards, there's next steps for you guys. I want you guys to read over those real quick, just to yourself. And this is just between you and God. Nobody else looking around, nobody's judging what you check, what you don't check. Just take a minute and reflect and think about your choices. And if you can't do it alone, then go ahead and write on there and say, I need help. I need help to be taught how to pray, how to talk to God one-on-one. I struggle with the following. I struggle with temper. I have a huge temper. As the band comes on stage and gets ready, I want you guys to go ahead and come to the front and get ready to pray. Come on to the front. Come on, bring it in. You go ahead and take them out. All right, now I want everyone to go ahead and either you can put, if you don't want to touch hands, you're a germaphobe, you can fist or put the hand on a shoulder and someone in front of you. All right, we all got it? All right, if you got hats on, go ahead and take them off. All right, we're going to go ahead and pray. Heavenly Father, thank you that we're able to come here and worship in your name, gather with friends and family. And as this week comes through, we got family coming in. Some of them get on our nerves. We got teachers that decide to give us homework at the last minute and a project over our break. We got mom and dad that just, we think they don't understand what we're going through. God, I want you to help us have a grateful attitude and a thankful one from here on out. Don't worry about yesterday. Start it today. And when times get too tough, give us the strength and wisdom and understanding to reach out to someone. Could be a peer. Could be somebody in this back row, 155. Could be a family member. Help them to remind us that we're not in this alone and that we need to make you the source of our life and our thankful attitude. Help us show others why we're set apart, what makes us different, why we're able to, day after day, hold our head up high, be proud to be a Christian. In Jesus' name, amen.